everyone, and welcome to another Product Spotlight where on Dave Cooper Live, we feature the people, the products, and the process helping us build it better. And this tiny topic could have a huge impact on what the future of sustainable building looks like. So please give a warm welcome and, of course, some thumbs up as we introduce Wade Atteberry, CEO of Tiny Hemp Homes. Today, we'll discuss how to live large and sequester carbon by building your next home with hemp. That's right, hemp. We're talking about alternative building materials, hempcrete, hemp cellulose, the integration of hemp-based building products and volumetric building. What exactly is industrial hemp and why isn't everyone growing it? All right, well, that's what we're going to get into in just a minute, but we can't bring you any of this without our sponsors. So a big shout out to Forward Solutions Group, who help us deliver all of these examples of construction innovation. Forward Solutions Group is successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. Learn more about Forward's recent acquisition about Moducore, an ERP solution for offsite manufacturing. Contact Ben Hershey to learn more at ben@forwardsolutionsgroup.com. And Howick Ltd, which we're going to be seeing and speaking with in England in just a few short weeks. Howick Ltd has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and produces innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the U.S. and the world. Check out their Machines Buyer Guide for offsite modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing. Big shout out to Howick. We look forward to seeing you in London in just a few weeks. All right, let's get into it. Let's bring Wade into the show. Wade, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, David?
Man, I'm having an awesome day. I love it when we have a day where we can talk about alternative building products, lumber sky high, going through the roof, everything sky high, going through the roof. And then all of a sudden you appear in my life. And here we're going to talk about alternative solutions and some great things. So, Wade, listen, give us your background, man. We want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. And by the way, it's a long history. He's been doing some great stuff for a long time. But don't leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, because we will call someone that knows you and bring them on the show. But you only have 2 minutes to do it. Short. The floor is yours.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much. What a great honor it is to be on your show. I've watched a ton of your videos, and honestly, it's a PhD education to watch these videos. To be able to sit down and listen to other CEOs of huge, successful and companies that have failed. I mean, I get as much from the companies that have failed as I do from the successful ones. But I was born in Southern California, raised with 2 sets of parents, which was actually worked out really good. I learned speed framing when I was 15 years old in Southern California. Went back to New Hampshire, brought that technology back east. By the time I was 18 years old, I had my first drywall construction company, grossed $1 million that year, 18 years old. Got really bad cancer when I was 19, lost everything. Built it back up when I was 20, got cancer again because I had quit going to my radiation treatments. And so 21, spent that year doing, horrible chemotherapy, couldn't walk, was on my deathbed. And started up my construction company again. And, by the time I was 22, grossing $1 million a year again, 30, 40 employees, just kept cranking until the crash. That was the first crash. I'm 57, so I've been through a few of them now. It looks like we're ready to experience another one here. But, been in construction my whole life, had kitchen and bathroom remodeling companies, granite companies, ground up restorations of homes, lifting them up, replacing the rotten sills. So I've really developed a knowledge of seeing what makes a house last and what makes a house not last. Rot is a big thing. Termites are a big thing. Of course, fire. I got burned out in the Santa Cruz Mountains a little over a year ago. And just the stress from that, I ended up having a heart attack over it. And it's been a year since the heart attack. I'm doing great. I feel awesome. Doctors are real happy with all my numbers. So, I feel like I'm back. I had a major back surgery, brought my back to life. So, it's amazing, the technology and the medical side. Let's transfer some of that over into this modular building side. And that's really what I want to do. I want to change the industry I love the concept of our industry. We have to go back to building with green products or nothing's going to be sustainable.
Right, right. Well, I love the fact that you want to change the industry, so we have that in common.
Yes.
I have a heart stent. We got that in common, so that's
Wow.
always good. But you know, the fact that you are a two-time cancer survivor, you've had several businesses, and you keep going is an inspiration. I think should be for everybody out there, right? Because you could have thrown in the towel, you could have said quits. You know, nope, I'm done. But you're definitely a fighter, and now you're
Thank you.
fighting for sustainability and healthier buildings. And you have a big part of this by looking at hemp. So why don't you tell us about Tiny Hemp Homes and tell us about how you're going about changing the way we think and changing how we look at sustainability in the built environment.
Absolutely great. So I formed Tiny Hemp Homes several years ago, and because of Hemp Creek, once I really learned about building with hemp-based building products, that's what I had to do. It's my forte. That's what I do. So I joined forces with Western Fibers out of Oklahoma. They have a wall coat system where they spray cellulose insulation. They've developed machinery over the past 45 years. Mike, the CEO now, approached me and his partner Tom to come up here and live at the Riverdale Hemp Gin. And this is a multi-million-dollar cotton gin that's been converted over to run hemp fiber. So the byproducts that come off of that are what we use in our hemp spray building. So this machine that Mike invented is incredible. We can take whole plant hemp versus hempcrete, which has to be pure herd, no fiber, no dust. We can take the whole plant, dust, fiber, everything. We mix in the wall in at the nozzle end of it. So we have 4 water jets that spray a lime slurry in with the dry hemp. We also add in recycled cardboard and paper, commercial paper waste product that really helps everything bind together. So we can spray a
Yeah.
wall with this machine just like you would standard cellulose spray insulation. And comb it the same way. We use a shutter on the outside because we don't want sheathing on the outside. We want to do a lime plaster coat on the inside and the outside so the wall is breathable. It's vapor permeable. I
Right.
call them living walls.
I mean, so they are living walls, right? I mean, it's all
Yes.
natural product. It's recycled product with the cardboard in it. And one of the things that I read in your bio is that you kind of helped formulate products that are fire retardant or don't burn, and that's part of this product. Yes.
Absolutely. So we mix in lime, bentonite clay as a binder. We also use borate or borax, boratic acid, another natural product that's mined. So that not only is a fireproofing agent, but it's also an insecting proofing agent. It's a rodent proofing agent. Termites won't be able to get into the wood because that lime crystallizes in the wood. And through what's called the carbonization process, that's where the hydrated lime, when we mix it with water, spray it in, it dries. It wants to suck back in CO2 molecules to petrify back into limestone. So your walls will actually get denser as time goes on. Now they're impervious to bugs, to mold and mildew, to fire. I mean, we're going to be able to give lifetime warranties against fire on your home. I mean, who does that in the industry? Show me my competition, Dave. Who is it?
I don't know of your competition. I know there are other people in the market with the hemp, insulation and hempcrete and all of that. And I think this is kind of the fun part about it. It's like the Wild West all over again
It
as
is.
we look at this product, called hemp, which you can't smoke, everybody. Hate to break it to you. Your kids aren't going to be peeling it off the walls. But I will tell you, though, it's really starting to make a big splash and people are really starting to take it serious. And I think as people such as yourself and others out there learn to work with the product, mix it with other sustainable products to do
Absolutely.
whatever we can do, I truly believe it's going to become a real building block of the future.
Absolutely. If you can get Greg or the partners up there at Autoball to give me a call, I'd love for them to help me automate, build out my factory. In return, I'll demonstrate how we can use these hemp insulation in their products and get them more sustainable.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's the same thing you do, Dave. It's preaching. cooperation. What I learn in my end, I want them to know. I got into the CBD industry, 10, 12 something years
Right.
ago. We created a CBD vape product, and we were one of the first ones. And I told everybody how to do it, and everybody was, well, why are you telling everybody your secret? Are you kidding? You think I could supply the whole country? No way. The only way people are going to accept it is to understand it. More people have to do this. So for
Right.
me, it's, taking the top couple of companies in automation, working with them to help me build this plant. And then in return, I'll vet out all these new products, green building products that they can automatically incorporate into their automated structures.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you mentioned building a factory. I mean, is that something that's on the horizon to do a full volumetric hemp building factory? Help hemp house. Hold on.
110%. So,
House
that
hemp
I was
building
hoping you
factory.
were going to write the check out for 250 million
Oh, that's it.
today so that we can start this. Maybe you can get Greg or somebody to send down some equipment, and we can make this happen. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's our goal. We're in
Okay.
Central California. We're in the San Joaquin Valley. This is the best place to grow hemp. When we go through our slide deck in a minute, I'll show you some 25-foot tall hemp plants. And when we grow an acre of hemp, so what's the benefit? We sequester CO2 out of the atmosphere when we're growing it. We can sequester up to 20 metric tons of CO2 per acre of 25-foot tall hemp grown. When we cut that down and spray it into the walls as insulation, we've locked that CO2 up. You got Elon Musk and all these people doing all these crazy CO2 extraction, going to pump it back into the earth.
Right. Right.
Man, just grow plants. We already have the answer. It's in our face. We just need to do it.
Sure. Sure. And so in the last year, 2 years, what kind of explosive growth have you been seeing in the hemp industry? Is it exploding right now for you?
So the big issue in the hemp industry is, the supply chain broken links. For industrial hemp, we make fiber out of industrial hemp.
Right.
Unfortunately, the big corporations in this country over the last 10, 20 years have decided to offshore all of our spinners. So spinners make the thread and the yarn from cotton. I live in the middle of the cotton capital of the world here.
Okay.
There was 200 cotton gins in California. There's less than 20 left now, and they run maybe
Wow.
2 to 3 months a year right now. So they sit fallow for 9 months. Well, Tom Pierce, here at Western Fiber at the Riverdale Hemp Gin have converted over a 60, 45, 50-year-old cotton gin that was built in the 60s to run hemp. This is low hanging fruit. This is using existing technology that's sitting fallow to now make a brand new product. And when I say brand new, it's new to us today. But, in
Right.
1880, 1890, we grew 20 million acres of hemp in this country. This country was founded on hemp. A
Sure.
lot of people that understand hemp know all these stories, but we need to get back to it. Our country depends on green building
Right.
products. We can build our way out of the CO2 climate crisis. That's right, Dave. We can build our way out of the CO2 climate crisis by using hemp-based building materials. Is
I'm
that
ready.
amazing?
Hey, you know what? I'm ready for it, and I'm ready for somebody to actually take center stage to show us all how to do it because I do think hemp's a weed, right? It grows fast,
Oh my
and
God.
you can
Inch a
pretty
day.
much grow it anywhere,
Yep, inch a day.
inch a
Right
day.
here in the San Joaquin Valley, we can grow basically year round. So,
Right.
last year we planted March 4th. This year we got a little later into the ground, but we could really be planting year round. We could get 3 to 4 crops a year here. Same
Three
with
to
the
four.
Imperial Valley in Southern California. Those
Right.
are two very unique growing areas in this country. It's incredible what they grow around here. It's just a water issue, but hemp, we used about 17 acre inches of water
Yeah.
on our crop last year, and we planted about 80 pounds of seed per acre. So it gives us a very dense crop. When that crop gets about 2 feet tall, it shades out all of the weeds. So it's not only a great rotational crop for a lot of farmers because you don't have to use herbicides. It kills the weeds before the weeds can go to seed to set for the next year.
Right.
So like our tomato growers, they're done with their crop in August, plant some hemp, you kill all the seeds off for the next year's crop. You don't need herbicides. Hemp
Sure.
doesn't need pesticides to grow. All you do is water it. That's it. Watch it grow an inch a day.
Watch it grow. All right, let's get into this, right? So we're talking about building tiny hemp homes. We're talking about volumetric, hemp homes, building process. how many acres of hemp does it actually take to build a single house?
So your average home, 1,200 square feet or so, takes about 2.5 acres of hemp that can be put into a house. The houses that I want to build here are, 26 feet long, 17 feet wide, because that's what we can fit on a truck on an 8.5 foot wide load, two 26-foot long pieces by 8.5 feet wide, both sides. And then the truck following it will have a crane on it with the roof system. So we can set these two down on a foundation, the two sides, put the roof on it. Our goal is to be able to install a house a day. And,
Yeah.
it's already proven out. Audubon's doing it. There's tons of other companies that are doing this. So it's a no brainer. We want to build a 442 square foot house. So really that's about a half an acre of hemp. And we're using recycled cardboard in it too, which obviously with Amazon and there's a plethora of cardboard out there for us to use. Let's use it. We've been using cellulose spray insulation for years. It never really took off. And geez, I wonder why, Pink Panther.
Yeah. Well, there is that side to it. I'm really not so sure it's that healthy for you either, quite honestly.
Man, I will never ask anybody to use insulation, fiberglass insulation again, knowing what
Right.
I know now.
Sure.
This is a piece of hemp insulation. I have no problem. I have a blanket made of this. I sleep with it every night. Can you imagine sleeping in a thing of hemp insulation or fiberglass insulation? So this is made by Hemp Texture. They're a company
Yep.
out of Idaho. They're one of the first ones here in America making hemp wool insulation. So this is the fiber of the plant.
That's right.
We use the whole plant, the center and the outside bark.
Yeah, for
This,
sure. And
this right here, this is Hemp Creek. This is your traditional hemp Creek. So this is pure herd mixed with lime and a binder. And this is what you hand tamp into a wall. What we want to do now
give us a
is,
side view of that, Wade. Let's see a cut view. Yeah. Okay.
so and it's very light and it's solid and it won't burn and bugs won't eat it. It's just an incredible product. This is what we do here at Western Fiber. This is our spray-in Hemp Creek. It's basically our wall coat 3 system. This is hemp herd with the cardboard mixed in with it, sprayed in, squeegeed off with a roller brush, just like you do in natural cellulose spray insulation. We put basically a piece of wood on the back of the wall. We can spray it, pull that shutter off, and now you have all that hemp encapsulated in your wall. So what we like to do is double stud wall construction. We use a web wall, just like a truss web, a web wall on the outside that's already engineered for strength without sheathing, without shear walls. And then the inside wall is another 2x3 wall, 24 on center as your double stud wall. All those mechanicals get run in between the walls. No more drilling. Plumbers and electricians, when they do a double stud wall, they're all, are you friggin' kidding me? Why the hell would I ever want to drill holes again? This is crazy. So we speed up the process right there by doing double stud walls. And that makes such a difference in being able to build. And it gives us a 9-inch or a 12-inch thick wall, whatever you need. Our spray and insulation is about a 3.7 R per inch, and it's all natural and CO2 sequestering.
So does that mean you have what, a 10-inch, 11-inch, I guess, wall cavity? What do you have for wall cavity if you're double studding?
Yeah, so outside to outside is where the framing is, and then we put a lime plaster coat on top of that. So either 9 or 12 plus about 1.5 inches of lime plaster between the two walls, inside and outside.
And that gives you an R value of 30. What is that, 30?
About 3.7 per inch times whatever you need to do. So if you got a 10-inch wall, 37.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, love it. Building above code. There's an idea. How's that? Right.
So how about building above code, sustainable, CO2 sequestering? That wall is going to eat CO2 for many, many years, 40, 50, 60, 80 years. It's going to keep getting denser. It sucks in CO2. Now at night, when you breathe out, you off gas vapor. Any vapor in your house is going to get sucked in by the walls because they're vapor permeable and they won't rot. They need to be able to release that vapor again. So when the sun hits that wall in the day, you put your hand on the wall, it's evaporating out that moisture. It's cold. So instead of a hot wall, you have a cold wall when the sun hits it, evaporating moisture, keeping your house cool. And that's a big thing. A lot of these guys, like I said, I love the concept of this industry. They're using the wrong damn materials.
That's right.
When you have a wall that is a living, breathing wall, eating CO2 and then breathing back out that vapor to cool it down, you use far less electricity to cool or heat your home. That's, a lot of these companies say, oh, we'll net zero in 25 years. Well, it's like, well, wait a minute. How about net zero from day one? Let's start building with materials that are locking CO2 up out of the atmosphere into the house from day one. And now 25 years, figure in what the cost savings is, 60, 70, 80% of cost savings on your energy. We need to change the way we build. And obviously with automation, volumetric, all this is changing that. Again, we need to build with green materials and truly green materials.
Start off at the end in mind. That's what I'm hearing here. So
absolutely.
So what is the difference between Western fiber wall coat system and the hemp cellulose spray machine? Other than, so why don't you walk us through these different machines? Are they IP machine? Like, do you have patents on these machines, or are you using stuff that's already on the market?
Yeah, no, a lot of it's been developed over the last 45 years. It's just a couple of tweaks to the machinery. We do have some IP. My recipe has IP. And again, willing to share it. It's not a secret. It's hemp. And that's what we need to be using. So the machine that we use was really developed, 40 years ago in the cellulose spray industry. We just modified it to be able so that the water jets are now spraying out a lime slurry with our recipe. And that's really the difference. It mixes in the wall. We use about 50, 60% less water. We use less lime than a traditional, like I showed you, the Hemp Creek block. It's still, fireproof, insect proof, mold proof, but it dries immediately. And now being able to build in a factory, which is our goal here, we can actually put these things through a dryer, dry the wall within, a few hours or at least before the next day. But when we spray where I live here, it's dry in 4 to 5 days. As we're typical hempcrete, the real drawback and why it hasn't been adopted by builders is finding the hemp herd that's pure, but also the fact that it can take 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks to dry to cure before the contractor can come back in and do a rendering on the outside or inside. And that's just not sustainable. Certainly not, building the way we want to build.
Right. All right. So, we're talking about the insulation. We're talking about hempcrete. When are we going to see this as a structural element? Hemp studs, hemp LVLs. Is that coming in the near future?
Yes, there's a company in Australia that is actually making hemp studs, fiber. We're so far behind the times. America we lag. We offshored all of our smart people. It's horrible. It's coming back. It's just going to take, like what Autoball does. They're bringing technology, from the automotive industry into the house building industry, offsite. Right. That's my goal. That's a dream that I've had for a long time now. And it all just kind of came together with the double stud wall. I invented this brace that connects the two walls, make it even stronger. And now with this machine, with the wall coat machine, it all came together and just fits perfectly into what we need to fix the CO2 crisis, to fix the labor shortage, to fix the housing crisis, to fix the affordability crisis. How many kids do you know can go buy a house today in a place you'd want to live?
I can't even afford a house today.
Dude, same here. When I lost my house in the fires, that was it. My house didn't burn. My landlord decided to kick me out after 6 years because, he can rent it out for $5,000 a month now because 3,000 homes burned in the neighborhood.
That's right.
So, if I lived in a hemp house, it wouldn't have burned.
That's it.
You know what I mean? These are the things that we need to change today. And so I want to build communities. I want to build whole neighborhoods. I don't want to do one-offs. I don't want to do ADUs. I want to build the Henry Ford model. You can have any color you want as long as it's black. I'm going to build the same floor plan, the same house over and over and over and over again, put them in the neighborhoods. People already live in 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 unit condominium complexes that all look alike. Try coming home on New Year's Eve and finding your condo. At least now your GPS and your EV car will take you right to your house, even though it looks like every other house. But, one of your guests from Australia with that new program, I can go on now. I can find the land. I can situate the houses to have southern facing exposures,
That's right.
which way to slope the roof. I mean, it's data, right? It's
It
all
is.
about
It is
data,
all data.
putting that data to use. And you and I are, we're gray hairs. We're not these young kids. We need to surround ourselves with this smarter, younger generation
Yeah.
that doesn't want to walk walls, that doesn't want to wear a tool belt. That's how I grew up,
That's right.
and I started speed framing and prefabbing walls when I was, 16 years old. I mean, what the heck happened? Why didn't it advance? Why didn't it keep
Right.
going?
Well, hey, I mean, that's when we walked to school uphill and snow both ways, right?
Yeah.
That's just
I grew up in New Hampshire. That's the truth.
it is the truth. So I couldn't agree more. So all right, so we got a couple other topics I just want to touch on, right? And one of the things that's really close to my heart, you keep mentioning volumetric building, Autovol, Rick Murdoch, and Curtis Fletcher and Merrick. I mean, close to my heart, good friends. They really have
Kudos to them.
stepped up their game and really took something to the entirely new level.
Ah,
Let's talk about this using hemp-based building products and not do it like doing not doing one-offs, but having a system, having a set number of floor plans, a set number of elevations, so you can
absolutely.
produce homes that people will love, that people will save money in, that people will breathe healthier in. You feel that we can do this with a fully automated process.
110%, man. I mean, if Audible joined with us, a couple other companies, even one other good company like that joined with us, joined their forces, joined their knowledge, brought their mistakes that they've made to building out, this next new factory. We want to do it here in Central California because obviously we're right in the middle of the Bay Area and the Los Angeles basin. With the way fires are going, with the water shortage, with everything. So, homes don't use a lot of water. What building new homes does is create a lot of waste in the landfills. And thank you for really bringing that point out. If we built one out of every four homes going in the trash, oh, wait a minute, we do.
That's
Let's
right, we
change
do.
that. Let's start building four homes and four homes actually go on site and people get to live in them because,
Yeah,
like Autoball does. Look at how much waste comes out of that plant,
right.
almost nothing. And now we can actually take any lumber dust waste, sawdust waste, and mix it right in with our hempcrete spray.
You
So you
could.
just eliminated that part. And now
Yeah,
anything other that's a natural bioproduct, we can put into a pyrolysis process. That's biochar. So if anybody does know about biochar, just look up biochar. I'm sorry, but you're going to go down a rabbit hole. You can write me a hate email later. But it's super important that we really start utilizing some of this old new technology to build our way out of the climate crisis.
yeah, for sure. Listen, everybody, if you're just joining us, Wade Atteberry is on with us today, and we are talking about tiny hemp homes, hemp products, and what does the future of hemp building look like. So glad you could tune in today. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. So get your tweets on if you're out there. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you better go there and subscribe after the show. And if you're not following Wade Atteberry and everything he's doing at Tiny Hemp Homes, you're wrong. You should be following him, but do not leave this channel until we're done because we're going to show you some pictures and some other things that Wade's working on. So thanks for joining us today, whether you're live or you're watching this on Saturday. We appreciate you very much. All right, listen, Wade, we got some other things to cover here. So we can definitely automate hemp building products. Let's talk about, what are the three main advantages of using hemp? I know we talked about hemp insulation, but what if you were to say, hey, these are the three advantages why everybody should consider it? What would it be?
You know, uh, Fireproof home. A fireproof home. Are you kidding me? A fireproof home. I mean, just that. Forget everything else. Fireproof home. Bugs can't eat it. It's got lime in it. It's got boratic acid, borax. They're not going to eat it. It can't burn. Um, Animals can't live in it. They can't burrow through it. They take one taste of it, forget it. So, what are the biggest things that cause homes to deteriorate? Or you have to remodel every 30 or 40 years. That's another big problem in our industry. You don't have to remodel these homes. All the wiring's running a conduit buried in the hemp. So say you do have an issue inside your wall. You just dig it out, fix whatever issue you have to, and patch it back up. You can literally patch it yourself. That's easy. So you get R value on par with fiberglass insulation. We do what's called a dense pack. So we're around 4, 5, 6 pounds per cubic foot dense pack material. Everybody thinks, oh, you need the fluff, you need the air in it. No, the air is inside the hemp cellulose. Tiny micro tunnels. That's what holds the air. That's why it's the 3.7 R per inch, on par with all these chemical products. Now, spray foams obviously have a higher R value, but when you look at the ROI, your return on your investment in a spray foam, you have to calculate in future generations and what we're doing to the planet by doing that. That has to be used in very limited areas. And really, hemp insulation can take place of 99% of everything we need to do. I have a pizza oven that I'm going to be insulating with hempcrete. It's just huge. It makes such a big difference to go natural.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it does make a big difference to go natural, and it won't itch the daylights out of you when you touch it. So that's the other. You can make blankets out of it. That's right. The power goes off somewhere, and you're not off the grid. Well, guess what? You can lay yourself in some hemp
love this stuff
to keep warm. All right. What is industrial hemp, and why doesn't everybody start growing it? Why?
So industrial hemp has no CBD value, no THC value, grows very long, very tall, very straight. We do a dense planting of that, 60 to 80 pounds of seed per acre. That has a very long fiber. It doesn't have very many branches. So as it comes up and grows, the bud branches out, it grows, those die off. So it doesn't have any branching. It's just one long pole. The problem is right now, broken supply chain links. Like I explained, we don't have spinners. Without spinners, there's no place for the hemp fiber to go other than offshore. And of course, with the price of shipping containers now, it's just really not worth it. We had a delegation from Mexico come up here because the same thing, their cotton industry is hurting. So they have all these cotton plantations, cotton machinery. They just legalized cannabis and hemp, in Mexico. So again, they want to move forward with hemp. So industrial hemp, cannabis for medicinal, recreational, CBD for medicinal, industrial hemp for building materials, for clothing, for just, 50,000 uses. The center herd is a cellulose. That cellulose can be used to make plastics. So you can buy 3D filament for your 3D printer made from hemp cellulose right now, today. Just Google it. You can get it. So the goal eventually is, another one of your shows I watched was the guy makes that matrix inside his panels of 3D printed filament, matrix.
Right.
We can do that with hemp. And now the next step will be making a hemp foam that can be injected into this. Another guest you had that was making the robots, basically to tailor. I want a robot with a 360 spinning head that will go in and spray it into the wall. So there's no human error. There's no air cavities. It'll just spray it perfectly every time. Everything's the same. Like I said, it's the Henry Ford model. The first 1,000 homes, I want to build exactly the same, put them in one neighborhood, make it, an agro-hood type living area where everybody that works at the factory hopefully will end up living in a hemp home. And of course, all blockchain technology. When you show up to work, I want it to be an employee-owned factory. At least 50% employee-owned. You're getting paid by the minute. It's going into your blockchain account. We don't have a payroll department. You're a part owner. That's huge.
That is huge. All right, let's look at some of these photos here. So this is obviously the hemp spray and hemp insulation.
Yep. That's what it looks like when it's done. No different than any other cellulose insulation technology. Just we use hemp with our proprietary recipe.
Now, what is this? A pizza oven?
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to end up doing. So I had to live in that for a month during the fires. Luckily, it was in good enough shape. Wow. I was still building it, but I lived in that thing for a month. It's a basically little tiny, hemp home. It's got hemp canvas on the outside. It's insulated with hemp. It has hemp wood flooring, hemp wood stain. Again, the pizza oven, I'll be able to cook Hemp Creek pizzas with it, hemp-based pizzas with it. Hemp leaves on the pizza.
There's
hemp
such
seed.
a thing as hemp pizza?
Oh, absolutely, man. Google it. Dude, the taste is unbelievable. But as soon as I get this thing fired up, hopefully you'll be in the area and you come on down. I'll make you a pizza, buddy.
That's right. So if the fires were burning through, you're huddled up in your little hemp home making hemp pizza for everybody. Yeah. Love it. I love it. Next, you're going to tell me there's hemp beers. Maybe there is. All right.
Dude, I invented hemp beer several years ago. God, I don't have a bottle within reach of me, but yeah, that was one of our most successful products was
I
our
love
hemp
it.
beer.
What do we got here? That doesn't look like hemp.
That's actually a totally hemp home. That's insulated with raw hemp. That is a hemp canvas all the way around the outside.
Yeah.
It's hemp floor, ceiling, walls inside of it. Dude, that thing literally, you can sit that thing out in the sun on a 180-degree day and it'll be 70 degrees inside.
Come
At
on.
night, when it's super cold out, you light 2 tea light candles, you close it up for an hour, you get in there, it's 65 degrees. And I've slept in this thing below zero. It's
Wow.
just unbelievably comfortable. And when you do a lime plaster, this one doesn't have lime plaster, but when you do a lime plaster, there is nothing like sleeping in a lime plastered building. I can't even explain it. It's just something you have to experience. It's refreshing. It's like sleeping in a rainforest
I love it.
without all the noise.
I love it. All right. This looks like the 25-foot hemp.
You got a good eye there, man. That's 25 feet tall. Can you believe that?
Look at that.
That's one season.
That's one season. So, what is this? What is a growing season? How many months?
So typically, 90 to 120 days is all you need to grow hemp for a fiber crop.
Yep.
We let this one go all year. We wanted to see when it went to seed. So this is a Chinese landrace strain. The Chinese have been developing strains for over 2,000 years. They've been growing it for 10,000.
Yep.
They got serious about it about 3,000 years ago, and 2,000 years ago they started breeding to what they wanted. This does very well in America.
Right.
Flourishes all across the country here, the Chinese landrace strains. China had it right. They didn't outlaw THC. They outlawed the manufacturing of THC. I don't believe in that either. But
Right.
in here, we've outlawed THC in the plant. It's just ridiculous. We need to get beyond this 0.3 THC thing. And nobody's going to be smoking industrial hemp. That's not
Right.
what it's for. It's to make clothing. It's to make plastics. It's to make building. It's to build our way out of the climate crisis. Our government officials have to get their head out of their butts and start getting behind this industry and really supporting it. That's a
Sure.
huge tractor. If you look real close, there's a guy standing in that picture, right in the corner next to the tractor.
There he is.
Is that
Bent over.
amazing? Talk
Bent over
about
him.
sequestering CO2.
Yeah.
This is how we can grow and build our way out of the CO2 climate crisis. And there's no herbicides, there's no pesticides, there's nothing you have to do to this field. You water it, you put drip irrigation in and you water it. We've partnered up with Netafim, their drip irrigation company. They see what we're doing, they believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Donnell's, a harvesting company. They just brought their existing equipment. We used a sickle bar cutter to cut this down. We used a silage cutter and chopped it. It's almost perfect for our hemp
So
insulation. That's
I
cut right in the field. All we have to do is
right.
dry it.
So
There's no other processing involved.
the other thing is for all of those people out there watching that are on septic and well, right? That means you don't have all those pesticides leaching into the ground, which ruins a lot of septic systems. And then you have
Boy,
to
you're
use
not
more
kidding.
chemicals to clean it. That's a big problem in the country, especially, in farmland, which is typically more rural areas, central, PA, California, all those places. Most people are on a septic and in a well system. So
Yeah.
there's another benefit that you didn't
Well,
mention there.
let's talk about farmland. Farmland, we've destroyed it. We put all these chemicals on it. It's called dirt now. It used to be
That's right.
soil, but it's just dead dirt. Well, hemp is a bioaccumulator. It actually sucks the toxins out of the soil. The taproot breaks it
Right.
up, aerates the soil, and now with you add biochar to it, you're making living soil again just by growing hemp. The leaves that drop add nitrogen to the soil. So a hemp plant actually leaves your soil better off after a hemp crop than before
Right.
it. So
So
that
it,
other
it
picture, that was a Hemp Creek bar that I built.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
So
but
it's
you're
just,
right. I was going back to the last comment, right? Because the hemp's actually, since it's natural, since it grows naturally, since you're not adding additives or fertilizer to
yeah,
it, the leftover remnants, the roots, everything in the ground actually decompose and add nutrients back to that farm soil is exactly what you're saying there.
huge amount of
Naturally,
nitrogen.
right, without the use of chemicals to do it. All right, what do we have here? We got about
So,
another minute here and get
right
through.
on. So that's a Hemp Creek bar that I built.
Yep, love it.
It's just another showpiece showing, what you can do with hemp.
Hemp bar. I see cleaning products, but I do not see hemp beer. Problem there, Wade.
So we made hemp beer years ago. Unfortunately, our brewer went out of business. That was a big bummer.
All right, what do we got? Look at this.
So that's a
Wow.
traditional hemp crete, hand packed in.
Right.
That's bamboo framing, just to show
Yeah.
that, you know, you can do it all natural. That has the hemp wool insulation in the ceiling and the floor, with what's called mag board, MGO board,
Yep.
in the
Sure.
floor and the ceiling. But again, it's, you know, the trailers that I built are all proof of concepts.
Right.
They've gotten me and, you know, Western Fiber, uh, to the technology where we are today. Now we're ready to automate it and make, you know, volumetric buildings and just start building neighborhoods of this.
Sure. So what I'm thinking is you need to tackle the motorhome business as well after this. If we can do that, that would be great. We've
You're
been
not kidding,
traveling in
brother.
one for a year and a half. We know.
Well, I tell people, start off with 1% hemp in any product. So I mix micronized hemp hurd in with my paints, my
Right.
glues, my roofing sealants. You know, you can buy hemp curtains for your
Yep.
place. You can
Right.
order hemp seeds. You know, just please start buying anything made of hemp, because it employs
That's
a
right.
farmer. And when you employ a farmer, that's the backbone of our country. You know,
That's right.
the farmers need to be supported. Once they can start selling more hemp products, they'll take more risks. And that's what we need, is we need farmers to be able to be funded enough that they can
Right.
take the risk to grow the plant before the processing plants are built. And that's kind of, you know, it's the egg before the chicken.
That's
It's a
right.
hard thing to do. So please support the hemp industry. Just buy something as much as you can, but buy something made of hemp.
And that's really it, right? A lot of people confuse hemp and marijuana. It is not the same thing. It's the same
No,
weed, but people are not running into the hemp field, picking it and smoking it. That's not what it is. It's not the
no.
same. It's not the same one. So for those of you out there that think you're supporting the other side of the hemp conversation, that is not it. And also, the more people that get involved, more people that start buying hemp products, maybe the banks, the federal government will start opening up their eyes and realize that they shouldn't categorize it the same as marijuana, because I think that's where it's stuck with a lot of the banks right now, right, Wade?
Well said, David. Absolutely. You know,
Yep.
being in the hemp industry, I've lost my PayPal account for life several times. You know,
Yeah, I
uh,
bet.
bank accounts, everything, and it's like, you know, wait a minute, don't you not understand what I'm trying to do here? Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, hey, listen, we love it. Thank you so much, Wade, for coming on the Dave Cooper Live Show and sharing your story. I mean, we've been talking about hemp quite a bit over the last few
I see
months,
that.
and you know, for good reason. It's a viable product, and builders are struggling out there, and people can't afford homes. So what are we going to do about it? We
Dude,
got to do
these
something.
two things
Yeah,
need to come together, and you're the conduit to make that happen. You
well,
know,
we're
you
definitely
truly are.
working
What
at
you're
it.
doing, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your skirt here, but you know what you and Jennifer are doing is so needed right now. Your timing is perfect, and if you could put that effort into bringing green building products such as hemp into this industry, this is the way to do it. I hope you and
Right.
I are going to develop quite a relationship from here on out. It has to happen. We don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Just
no.
we got to
Hey,
be best buds here.
I think if we can, you know, our job is to show people that are building it better or trying new things, right? Because we can't keep doing it the way we've been doing it. Doesn't work. Drive through
Yeah.
California, Portland, Washington State. Look around. You will see homeless people everywhere. We need to do something better. And a lot of
We're
them are veterans, and that bothers me too.
Yeah, we're teaming up with Lazarus Naturals, which is
Okay.
a big CBD
Yep.
company. You know, Sequoia, Sully, the people there, they believe in what we're doing. They see it. They've been aiming in this direction too, to build tiny hemp homes.
Yep.
So we're starting a collaboration with them too, to hopefully take this to the next level.
Looking
Again,
forward to
you know, Autoval is our goal. That's, you know, that's the
it.
direction we want to go in.
I can help facilitate that conversation. So, two quick questions. We have about 30 seconds. So, Leave Teach Me, does his company offer videos of product installation?
So we're working on that. Again, it's funding. You know, hopefully with some of these new partnerships that we're going to develop here, we're going to bring this out to the masses. Truly, we want to laser focus on building, you know, in a factory. I don't want to do
Yep.
on-site, but there's a potential for somebody who really wants to do on-site spray, uh, to purchase the equipment from us, to purchase the, you know, come talk to us if you're serious and you're big enough to make this happen. You know, please reach out to me, because that's an avenue I'm not going to go down. We want to stick, you know, laser focused on building in a factory.
All right. Last question. How do you assign structural properties for engineering calculations?
So again, our hemp insulation isn't structural. We don't need it to be. The framing, the double stud wall, the web walls, that takes care of shear walls. That takes care of all that problem. So our structure, our wood frame is our structure. That's what's engineered. We're just a cellulose insulation.
Love it. Love it. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Wade, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm looking forward to seeing more of what you do. I'm looking forward to helping you build out an automated hemp manufacturing facility, or at least put you in touch with people that have the ability to do that with you, not only from the technical process, but hopefully the financial process as well. I think it's super cool. All right, everybody, if you're not following Wade, like I said, you're wrong. You need to follow what Wade is doing. And just so you know, I see that Shark Tank back there. Yeah, Wade works with the actual show, Shark Tank people, and some other people. He has been around the block once or twice. There you go. Did a book. That's awesome. That is awesome. So you have a lot of knowledge. You have a past history that shows success, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm happy you survived cancer twice. So good for you.
Thank you.
Me too. Everybody. We will see you this Friday with Mark Barenaked Willie, 1 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it. That's it. I'm Dave Cooper. We'll see you next time. Wade, stay right there. I'll come back to you after the end of the show. Bye now.
Thanks.